Hey everybody, it's HAVOK and welcome to another video. In this video we're going to go through some of the best settings I have for streaming and recording with OBS using an NVIDIA graphics card. These settings I found were best for 1080p streaming and recording. Before we get started, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you can see when the next video drops. First up, head over to speedtest.net and do a speed test, and make note of your upload speeds. We'll need this upload speed to set the bitrate later on in this video. Make sure you're hanging around until the end of the video. I'm going to show you kind of a little pro tip, what you can do to make your recordings much easier when it comes to your post-processing and editing. Now that you have your upload speeds, it's time to open OBS. Once you have it open, go to Settings. Make sure you change it to dark mode. Just kidding. But after you do change to dark mode, go down to video, and this is where we're going to set up our base canvas. So your base canvas is going to be whatever you're gaming at. So in my case, I have a 1440p monitor, so my base canvas is 2560 by 1440. Yours might be 1920 by 1080, which is pretty standard within the industry. Go ahead and choose whatever your base canvas is, and then whatever you want your scaled resolution to be. The scaled resolution is what the output is going to be for your recordings or for Twitch. A lot of people will use either a 1920 by 1080, which is 1080p, or they'll use 1280 by 720. For this example, we're going to go with 1920 by 1080. Hit apply, then head up over to output. To start, you're going to have it on simple, and for your video bitrate, that is the speeds of your upload that you can provide to Twitch. Now, kind of my suggestion is if your upload speeds are around 3 megabits, maybe go 2500. If it's around 4 megabits, you can go probably around 3500, and then it scales up. For me personally, my upload speeds are in the 20s, but I stick with 5000, and I have that for two reasons. Reason number one is Twitch has a public document that says the max upload bitrate is 6K, but I also keep it lower than that because you have to think about your viewers that are consuming the content. So if you are not a Twitch partner, you more than likely won't have transcoding options, and what that means is the people consuming your content will not be able to change the video resolution. So you have like the 720p and so on and so forth. So if they don't have great internet, they're not going to be able to change and lower the quality of your stream so they can consume the content. So before I was a Twitch partner, I usually kept that right around 2500 to 3K. But because I have transcoding options, I always keep it at about 5K. Sometimes I'll bump it up depending on the type of stream I'm doing, but that's pretty safe to keep it right around that 2500 to 3K mark if you're not a Twitch partner. You'll want to do hardware NVENC, and what we're doing here is this video is specifically for NVIDIA graphics card. So if you have a Turing card, which I believe starts with the 1060, there's some technologies built in there that really kind of work with OBS and really kick up the quality of the stream without consuming a ton of resources. You leave your audio bitrate at 160. Your recording path, always make sure the path that you're recording to is not the path that the hard drive that your game or games are on. So if you have different drives, make sure they're different drives. It just helps with the throughput. I'll keep it at high quality, medium file size, MP4, hardware NVENC. Now here's a big issue here. You see how we have this set as MP4? It's giving us a warning down here. And the reason for MP4, if your stream crashes or your OBS crashes in the middle of recording, you could quite possibly lose that file if you're in MP4. The flip side, most of your programs that you would use to edit the videos together, so like Adobe Premiere, they will only work with a native file like MP4. If you switch this to MKV, which I suggest you do, if for some reason OBS or your computer crashes, you could still recover some of that file that you have recording. However, programs like Adobe Premiere won't be able to utilize an MKV format. And what you do there is you have to go remix the file. So we'll go ahead and apply and OK. And the way you remix that is you go to File, Remix Recordings. You choose that MKV recording. In the target, it'll output it to an MP4. You'll be ready to go for Adobe Premiere or whatever program. Now that we have that out of the way, let's get into the more advanced settings. So we'll go back into Settings, Output. We're going to click this over to Advanced. Now here's where we get into kind of the real meat of the content. So going advanced, it allows us to select multiple audio tracks. For this example, we're just going to have one. Make sure you choose NVIDIA NVENC H264 New. Enforce Streaming Service Encoder settings. You don't need to rescale the output because we already did the rescaling of the output back over on the video settings. Change your rate control to CBR. Here is that bit rate we talked about earlier. Do keyframe intervals to 2. Preset max quality. If you're finding it's taking up a little too much hardware resources on your computer, you can change this back down to quality. But I always suggest giving it a go at max quality first. Profile is high. You can go ahead and leave look ahead unchecked. And then psycho visual tuning checked. GPU 0, max B frames 2. And hit apply. Now over on the recording, similar thing, type standard. Make sure you have that recording path to not be the hard drive or the storage device that you're playing the games off of. We'll do MKV, as it was talked about earlier. We don't want to lose those recordings. Audio track, this will let you also do multiple audio tracks for your recordings. If you want to split maybe your music into a track, your Discord into a track, so on and so forth. Encoders, same thing, NVIDIA NVENC H264 New. Again, we're not going to rescale the outputs. We're going to change our rate control to CQP. And then here's kind of where we get into the nitty gritty. So the CQ level, I have it at 15 for my recordings. In this case, the lower the number, the higher the file size is going to be for your recording. So if you're recording like an entire 4-hour stream or something, you want to set this up to maybe 20, so your file size isn't huge. For my recordings, for these videos and whatnot, I keep this about 15. So again, the lower the number, the better the quality, but also the bigger the file size. Keep the keyframe intervals to 0. Again, preset max quality. If it's too much for your system, change it down to quality, see how it works. Profile is high, you can uncheck look ahead, check psycho visual tuning, GPU 0, and then max B frames 2. Then go ahead and apply. At the beginning of the video, I talked about a little pro tip we're going to have here at the end of the video. Let me show you that when it comes to recording. Go down to settings, and if you're like me, oftentimes you might forget to, when you go live, to also hit start recording. So what you want to do here is OBS has the ability to automatically do it for you. So go into settings, general, and then this automatically record when streaming. So that's the first little pro tip. The second little pro tip is if you don't want to have to go back and remix all these videos, if you go to advanced, there's an option here that says automatically remix to MP4. You can click that, and after you're done recording a video, it'll automatically remix it to MP4. You don't have to worry about doing that post-process editing or remixing the file in OBS. And that's all there is to it. I suggest you go in here, play around with the settings, do some tests, see what works best for your hardware. If you have any questions, feel free to post them down in the comments. I'll do what I can to assist you. If there are any other streaming tech videos you'd like to see, go ahead and post them below and I'll see what I can do. We'll see you in the next video.